had you heard of Dasher and Dancer?
And you know the most famous reindeer of all.
But do you recall
The
goofy reindeer
of all.
Wait a second, do you mean Bob?
Bob?
Who names a reindeer Bob? Ho, 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 why I named Bob.
It's Santa!
Whoa there, this story isn't about Santa.
But Santa's in the story.
Well, yes, but the story is about Bob, the goofy reindeer.
So
Tell us the story already. Well, you see, Bob could never do anything right.
He skidded a blizzard into Santa's toy shop.
And he spilled hot cocoa on Mrs. Claus's best dress. But could he fly?
Of course he could fly.
Like a rocket ship.
Like a rocket ship? But Bob could fly so fast that you could see the stars shooting from his hooves.
Bob could fly so fast that he made a sonic boom during takeoff.
Bob could fly so fast that he disappeared into space for 3 days at a time. Yes, Bob could fly fast.
That's awesome!
Well, you might think that.
Until it was time for Bob to land.
It took an entire year to repair Mrs. Claus's living room after the last time Bob flew.
Let's not even mention what happened to Snow Mountain, or what's left of Snow Mountain.
You see, the trouble didn't follow Bob. Bob followed the trouble.
Everywhere Bob went, trouble was sure to go.
But Bob wasn't a complete goof up.
Ho, 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 no, sir. I'll never forget how Bob saved Christmas back in the 47.
Bob saved Christmas?
He sure did. It was his best goof up ever.
You see, the biggest blizzard since the time of Rudolph hit the North Pole.
On Christmas Eve. The landscape, it is falling. No, it's not falling.
Just as Santa was packing up his sleigh and getting ready to take off, an enormous northern wind blew through them and nearly blew down Santa's workshop.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes.
The elves were chasing gifts that flew out of the sleigh.
The reindeer were so bogged down in the snow that they couldn't get off the ground.
Mrs. Claus started to cry, Christmas is ruined, Christmas is ruined.
But Santa had a plan. Ho, 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 I said. Bob, with your flight discharge so strong, do your thing. You can blast my sleigh into the atmosphere.
Oh, no!
Oh, yes.
So Bob climbed under Santa's sleigh in the deep down snow.
And Santa climbed into his sleigh.
Then Santa said,
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the sky, to the top of the stars. Now blast away, blast off, Bob.
1,
2, 3, blast off!
Of course. Well, why Bob performed his biggest blast off ever.
Off and off and off he went.
With Santa and his sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
then he disappeared.
Right off
the head of Elf's radar.
All is lost, cried Mrs. Claus. But wait,
What now?
Suddenly, in a mountain past midnight,
Time stops on Christmas Eve. You know.
Head Elf detected a wonderful,
Beautiful.
most delightful sight. What?
What?
Present shooting down from the sky and into chimneys.
a rocking horse for Tommy.
A dolly for Susie.
Hey, this is the 21st century. An iPad for Donovan.
A cell phone for Courtney.
And a Diamondback Beyond BMX bike for Sean.
But what about Santa? And
what about Bob?
Well, that was the strangest thing.
Santa landed in his comfy chair, complete with slippers and a pipe at the break of dawn.
Mrs. Claus cried, "It's a miracle!"
And Santa's sleigh ran in the garage, no worse for the wear.
The head elf cried, "It's a miracle!"
But what about Bob?
Ho, ho, ho. We never heard from Bob again.
Oh no!
Oh, yes.
But if you look up in the sky at night and you see a shooting star,
That's just Bob.
Acting like a goofball.
That's Bob for ya. Ho, ho, ho. So you see, Bob is as happy as can be playing star hockey in the sky.
Every now and again, you can see him wink.
but most especially on Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas to all.
And to all a good night.
Ho, ho, ho. Good night, Bob.